Sony has just denied a plethora of PlayStation 5 rumors, including a launch date and price rumors that were really starting to worry some people, but fear not, those have been confirmed to be false, and I'll be giving you guys my general input as well. On top of that, Dauntless will be adding Escalation hunts and a new Behemoth, and Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered has unfortunately been delayed all the way from January 23rd. Yes, it was to be out next month, and now it has been pushed back all the way until the summer. Little bit of a strange delay, and I'll talk about why that is at the end of this video. But first up, let's talk all about PlayStation 5's launch date, price rumors, and everything in between. On December 16th, a certain Japanese blog reported false information regarding the launch price and the release date of Sony's PlayStation 5. These rumors claim that the PlayStation 5 was supposed to launch on December 4th, 2020, with a standard version priced at around $600 and a PS4 Pro-like version priced at around $1,000. Right away, when I heard about this, I was like, that sounds a little bit fishy. $600 for the base PS5, that is just way too much. Now, I have been an advocate that a higher price for the PS5 wouldn't be the end of the world, but I've also been of the notion that Sony knows what ultimately made the PlayStation 4 a success, and one of the major factors was the $400 launch price. And come on, a $600 price point for a base PS5, that's a little bit too crazy. Seeing this false information was spreading on the net, in order to warn its readers, Famitsu published an article on the situation. The article from Famitsu mentions the PS5 prices and release date published by the blog are false. Famitsu most notably contacted Sony, who confirmed the information is all false. At this point, the PlayStation 5 is scheduled to launch in holiday 2020. The console's design, its pricing, and the actual launch day weren't announced by Sony yet, but I imagine that we're gonna get something early next year. If you guys remember, going back to the launch of the PlayStation 4, something was announced in February of 2013, and then the console was ultimately released in November of the same year. I imagine that's what we're working with here. Given that the PlayStation 4's launch was so successful, why fix what wasn't broken? Why not go for a similar release pattern? I think Sony have handled the news rollout for the PlayStation 5 really well. They'll give us trinkets of information here and there, but mostly they've been relatively quiet on the nitty-gritty and the specifics in terms of launch date, price point, game lineup, things like that, and I think they should be quiet on that because all of that information should be coming at that February event where you announce the console's release date and everything in between. Even maybe roll that out from February until June of E3, because that is what they did with the PlayStation 4. They didn't reveal everything at that February event because they also had an E3 conference later that year in June, and that's where they revealed the console, that's where they revealed used games, that's where they revealed the price. The February event was really just to showcase a couple of games, but I imagine that's what Sony's gonna go for here. As far as the price was concerned, a $600 price for the base console, I just think that was impossible from the get-go. Even though I don't necessarily agree with the notion that it was only the $600 price point that killed the PlayStation 3 initially, I think there were an abundance of factors that really killed the PlayStation 3. That price point definitely had something to do with it. Obviously, the majority of consumers are just not going to drop $600 on a console. That is just way too high of a price point. And then if you're talking about a $600 console and a $1,000 Pro-like version, that was just getting a little bit too crazy. Now, the base console is the console that you really have to price accordingly. I think that should be $400 to $500 at max. $500 is really the cap off, and I really think $500 would be pushing it a little bit too much. As far as the hypothetical PlayStation 5 Pro, if that was to be released alongside the base console, you can really release the Pro at whatever price you want it to be, just depending on the performance that it's going to offer, because at the end of the day, if price is an issue, people are just going to go for the base model. When you release two different models, the secondary model can be a price point that is a little bit crazy. It can be $600, it can be $700. However, when you're pushing to that $1,000 price point, I think even that is a little bit too crazy. I was talking about, $600 to $700, which sounds insanely high for a console, but at the end of the day, if you have the base console and that's $400 to $500, that option is just gonna be there, so it's not a big deal. Personally speaking, I even think that $500 is pushing it a little bit, because let's say you're a consumer that's going to the store and buying the PS5 day one, you need the PlayStation 5, you need a game, and you need PlayStation Plus. Let's say you buy a year of that. Really advocate against the notion of dropping $500 on a console, then $60 on a game, and then $60 on PlayStation Plus, and then you factor in tax into all of that. You're talking about nearly $700 for your launch setup of the PlayStation 5. I think that's pushing it a little bit too much. I really would ideally price the console at $400. Works so well for the PS4. Why not parlay it into the success of the PS5? Also, as far as that December 4th release date, that also sounded a little bit crazy. I think they should really go with a November release window. Why release the console after Black Friday? I would highly recommend you to release the console before Black Friday, even though we know that the console's not going to be discounted or have like some crazy bundle come Black Friday. Black Friday is where a lot of people go shopping. They restock on the PS5. Maybe a couple of games will be discounted, and it will be an opportune time to push even more PS5 consoles. And as we've seen, December is usually just a quiet month for gaming in general. People are usually just generally focused on what's coming in the early portion of the following year. Whatever the case may be, these rumors have been confirmed false, so do not worry about that. I really don't think the console is going to be $600 for the base model, and I don't think the release date is going to be December 4th, how Sony even confirmed as such. Alright, moving on from that, Dauntless has added a Escalation hunt and a new Behemoth, and Jared Poole, the community associate over at Phoenix Labs, developer of the game, has a detailed post over on the PlayStation blog. He noted, like one of its own mantras, Behemoth's Dauntless just keeps growing. With every update, narrative, game design, and art come together to create interesting experiences for our players. So what's next? For Escalation, we're sending players into the depths of the Maelstrom, a storm of epic proportions. Their aesthetic pressures cause physics to pretty much break, allowing Behemoths to grow terrifyingly powerful. That statement is coming directly from Dauntless Redder Corey Herndon. The pressure of the Maelstrom's heart causes normal Arcanite to compress into much denser lodestones that have their own powerful and very unstable etheric field. After a Behemoth is slain in Escalation, their store of aether is released and absorbed by nearby lodestones. Their massive crystals offer each slayer a boon for the rest of their turn. These are Amp's passive buffs that aid the player. Quote, we wanted to distill lots of different roguelike elements and see what would work well in our game. Coming from Travis Day, lead designer. After you finish a run, you get a bunch of experience that you can use to strengthen these amps. It's meant to give a slayer a progression system where they're constantly unlocking new things and improving the amps they find in Escalation runs. Failure isn't the end, however. In Escalation, it's just a stepping stone. These amps will also help the player with the final encounter, the brand new Malkarion. It's important to choose the right amps before taking this new enemy. Choose wisely, Slayers. These narrative, design, and artistic pillars will stand over time, but at the end of each Escalation, it will change. We want each version of the Escalation experience to go with a high-level theme. At the start, it will be a shock aether, but expect a different element in the future and maybe even new enemies. As Escalation continues, it will evolve and grow over time, just like everything else in the world of Dauntless. So another major update coming to Dauntless, and you can check all of that out in the free-to-play Monster Hunter-like game. I know this often gets a lot of comparisons to Monster Hunter World, definitely has its own unique elements, and at this point, maybe some of you guys are finishing up with Iceborne, maybe you guys have done a lot of content in that and you want to jump back into Dauntless. Now wouldn't be a bad time to do so with all of the content updates coming to that. And lastly, I know all of the attention as far as Final Fantasy goes has been on the Final Fantasy VII Remake. However, Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition has been delayed until summer of 2020. It was originally due out January 23rd of 2020, and this delay just came up a couple days ago, so this is kind of insane to delay a game a month out from release, and then you end up delaying it by 6 or so months. Square Enix posted a message regarding the delay, and here's what they said. Quote, since announcing Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition, we've read so many positive messages filled with encouragement, and all of us on the team would like to thank you for your support you've shown us so far. Today we're announcing that the release for the game is being moved to summer of 2020. We've made the decision to adjust the release date to allow the development team some extra time to make final adjustments to the game to make this the best experience possible. We know you've been waiting patiently for this game, and we hope you'll continue to support us as you have done so far over the coming months through to launch. Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered Edition is coming to PS4, Nintendo Switch, iOS, and Android devices. You'll be able to play online with your friends and transfer your save file across all 4 platforms when the game launches in summer of 2020. Again, this is a delay that isn't going to rub a lot of people the wrong way, just because I don't think everybody is losing sleep over Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered. However, the idea of a game being delayed by 6 months, a month before it's supposed to be released, right before it's supposed to go gold, I really don't understand this. You would think that they would have it in the back of their head that, yeah, this is a game that is going to need to be delayed by a considerable amount of time. well before that January 23rd release date actually comes, and well before even a month out from release. That's just a little bit strange to me, but whatever the case may be, the game will now be coming in summer of 2020. At least you still have the FF7 remake to be looking forward to on March 3rd. And that's gonna conclude this video. As far as the PlayStation 5 launch date and price rumors, Sony is denying that it'll be coming December 4th, and they're denying that it'll be $600 for a base console and a Pro-like version at $1,000. So very nice to hear that. Dauntless has added an Escalation hunt and a new Behemoth. And Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles not coming January 23rd anymore, rather it'll be coming summer of 2020. That's gonna conclude this video. Sound off with all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.